Y'all are never gonna believe what just happened. I literally just filmed this entire video. See, so this is my like point sheet for this video. It's all checked off. And forgot to turn the microphone on. Is it on? So here we go again. Anyway, I know you didn't just see that. I just went through that, but we're gonna film this whole thing again. Woo! So this is why I bought a bus, the video. I just want to start with my history. And most people on this channel or watching this are gonna know kind of my history, but for anybody who has been here recently since the property or just happened to have clicked on this video, I just want to give you a brief history about me and my history with buses. So my name is Isaac. A long time ago, I built an old school bus to be a tour bus for my music career. 2019, I think, right? And as soon as the bus got done, my plan was to make a record, which I did, which is called the Skoolie Sessions EP. And my plan was to make that record and go out on tour. Made the record, was getting ready to go on tour, and COVID happened. Remember that? Music industry died overnight. So that didn't work out. And then somehow, I found myself a full-time Instagrammer. I was making a living, just living in a bus, posting photos on Instagram. Didn't plan on doing that, just kind of happened. I never quite trusted social media as an income at that time. We're talking years ago. And I started a school bus conversion company. I don't remember exactly what year, but I bought old buses like this from the school district or wherever I could get them from, and I converted them into tiny homes, and I sold them all across the country, and I still get photos and videos to this day of the owners living their best life with my buses, which is really cool. So that's kind of my history. And then, so I lived in buses for years and years and years. I have a long history with buses. You can go in older videos on my channel and see all kinds of bus builds, all kinds of tours. I got a lot of history with buses, right? And then I think about last year, I sold my last bus and I bought this property, which we call Wild Mountain Homestead, right? And I had a child, a daughter named Ember, and she has motion sickness, and like traveling like that wasn't an option. Anyways, there's a whole list and reason of why we couldn't really do what we were doing anymore. So I bought this property to provide a home for my child and a home base and a place where she could go to school. You know, basically just what normal parents would do, right? That's why I bought this house. And I've had a lot of issues with the property that I've been dealing with. Anyways, so sold all my buses, got a truck and a truck camper, right? And I sold the truck camper to help pay for all the demolitions, all the stuff I'm dealing with on the property. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. Property stuff. I listed my truck and truck camper to, so we talked a little bit about my history, and we'll talk quickly about how I got here. Real quick, we need to pay the bills here, so we're gonna hop into a commercial break. Make sure to stick around and we'll get right back into the video after that, but let's go to the commercial right now. Hello, I would like to introduce you to this week's video sponsor, the Hover Air X1. So it's a camera drone, and if you know me at all, you know that I'm a full-time YouTuber and I spend a lot of time in front of a camera. And typically the way this works is I have a tripod just like this, and I set it up and do the thing,
and then I gotta hit record and walk around the front of the camera and do my takes, and all of my videos are pretty much done this way. So I'm either holding the camera by hand or it's on a tripod. So the cool thing about the Hover is it is a camera drone, and sometimes these can be really tricky, but the app is super easy to download and use. And then the way the drone works, you just press the button, hold it in front of your face, boom, automatically lifts off, and it will literally follow you like a cameraman. So this is in tripod mode, and it's amazing. So it'll stay in one spot like this and then follow me around, so it looks like a human is actually moving the camera. This is the footage from the drone right now. It can also go into a follow tracking mode, so like if I wanted to walk, the drone could go with me. It can take photos. It can also capture audio if you wanted to do some talking. It does a lot. Basically, this drone is like a cameraman that can fold up and fit in your pocket. And then when you want to go get the clips, it's super easy. You just go into the app and it'll load this preview for you here, and you can just download it right onto your device and airdrop it to your computer or however you want to transfer files. And again, it's so small, and you just got this little travel pouch, you stick it in your pocket. So Hover Air X1, thank you for sponsoring this week's video.
Welcome back. When all the property stuff came up and I basically just had to start forking out money, I needed to bring like substantial amount of money in, right? And I was thinking about starting another business, blah, blah, blah. But so what I did is I listed my truck and truck camper to help get me through this period, me and my family through this, and be able to pay these people that I needed to pay. And I bought a cheap car. I bought a Honda Element, which, crazy story, is the same Honda Element I owned years ago. It showed up on Facebook Marketplace. I bought the cheap Honda Element thinking that the truck and trunk camper would sell as a package. So I would have a car that I could get groceries in and, you know, haul my child around with a car seat was the original plan. And that's just not how it worked out. The people were way more interested in just the camper than they were the truck and truck camper packaged. So I was like, oh, okay. So I listed it all just to see what would happen. I listed the Honda Element that I just bought, relisted it. I listed the truck. I listed the truck camper. I listed all of it, and I was just seeing what was going to sell. And the truck camper sold, and the Honda Element sold. And I was left with the truck. So I have to keep a rig. And the truck is great because I can do stuff around the property. I can put my kid in the car seat. It's a great truck. Has no problems. Doesn't need anything, right? And which was not the original plan. I was thinking I was going to sell the whole thing as a package. Didn't work out that way, right? Now, here's the thing. I always want to have some kind of rig. Something I could live in if I had to. I always want to have something like that. Few reasons is just it's an insurance policy. You never know what happens, right? If you lose your housing, I'm in wildfire country. Like every year there's a wildfire like 2 miles from my house. One of these days it might come through here. I don't want to be homeless overnight or living in a hotel, right? I always want to have a rig, right? And I thought about getting a trailer or another truck. So, anyways, I have the truck. I needed a vehicle to be able to haul my kid, do stuff around the property. And the cheap Honda Element that I sold, basically, I just took the money from the Honda Element and got a bus with it, right? So the Honda Element, I traded in straight across pretty much just for this bus. So it didn't really cost me anything. It was already money that was out the door. Just moved it into something else, right? So now I want to talk about the different types of rigs and how I ended up back at a bus, right? So let's just briefly talk about everything I've owned. So I started in a low-top cargo van, which is great if you want something inexpensive. You can get them super cheap. You can build them out super cheap. Easy to work on. Everything's easy. The thing is, you can't stand, right? I only lasted about a year in that thing before I needed something I could stand in. Most people, it's the same story. So low top cargo vans aren't bad. I think they're great campers. I think it'd be hard to live in one full time for a long amount of time. Okay. Then I went into a bus, and I lived in buses longer than I lived in anything or had anything. I love buses. We talked about my history earlier. I got a thing for buses. I love old school buses, right? But they got their pros and cons too. They are wider, which if you want to live in it or spend any time in it is nice. But if you want to drive through major cities and navigate, like, it gets rough, insuring these things can be a nightmare. I've never personally had any problems, but I know a lot of people who have. And then we'll come back and talk about why I got a bus. But then I've had a box truck. I was actually going to start a box truck conversion company before I started the bus company. They're great too. I think technically they're one of the better rigs you could build. It's a box. It's all square. They're easy to get. I think box trucks are great. I don't know why they're not more popular than they are. Don't know. And then I've had the truck and truck camper, which that's great too. You could take the camper off, have your truck. You could buy trucks all day, four-wheel drive options, decent prices. Great, right? Great. And then you got high top vans, which I just helped Jaylena build her high top van, and they're great too. Which I guess brings us back to the truck and truck camper. The only con of a truck and truck camper is there's no pass-through. You have to get out of the house to get into the rig, or out of the rig to get in the house. That's the biggest drawback to a truck and truck camper. Other than that, they're super great options. The van, you walk right into your house, right? So those are kind of the differences between all of them. And I was actually leaning towards a van when I was going to get another rig. I was going to sell all my stuff and get a Sprinter van, until I did like kind of a recent trip in that van. Because I have a child, right? If you're by yourself, I think a van or something smaller is a great option, right? Easy to drive, easy to park, easy to insure, like no problems, right? But then I was thinking, it was like, man, if I was like a weekend getaway or something, great. But if you're going to be in that thing for, I don't know, a week even, it's going to get tight with a kid, right? So most people with families, they're going to be looking at bigger things. And that's kind of what brought me back to a bus, right? I have a kid. So now I want to talk about my personal reasons for buying another bus. I'd say number one is my history. It's nostalgia for me. Like, I love looking at this thing and remembering the memories that I have building buses, the memories that I had living in buses. Buses were such a huge part of my life. That's a main draw to why I came back to it. Like, I just have a lot of history here, you know? It just feels good, you know? I've been here before many times, and I got a thing for buses, okay? Can't explain it. The other thing is I do have a child, which I've mentioned a few times, and I want to travel a bit and like go explore and adventure. And my daughter has motion sickness. It's getting better, but I think there's light at the end of the tunnel. But I want to have something that there's enough room we can live in here comfortably for little extended periods of time, like a month, week, 2 months here and there. We'll be comfortable. The biggest thing is being able to have a shower, right? In a van or something smaller, you're pretty much not going to have a shower, which as adults, we can just go to a gym and go shower, no problem. You can't take a kid in and wash your kid at a gym shower, which then only leaves you option-wise to wash your kid is go pay for a truck stop shower, $18, or crash at someone's house. But now you're depending on people to be able to take care of your kid. I didn't want to go down that road. I want to be able to take care of my family at all times. So I wanted something bigger. I could put a shower stall in to be able to take care of my daughter without anybody's help. That's a big reason I went back to a bus. And the other thing is, I am a musician. I wanted something I could use as a tour bus. So I could pack 4 people in here and we put an enclosed trailer on the back and we go play shows for a month to make money. I also thought it would be super cool to able to make music in here. So have it be a mobile recording studio and be able to like go to really beautiful locations and like be inspired and create and record in that space. So it's like all these things are the reason I wanted something bigger, and how I ended up back at a bus. And now that I'm here, I'm so excited about it. And I personally would only buy one bus, period, right? And that's a 7.3 Power Stroke short bus, period. I will not buy ever a different kind of bus and never would. And these are getting really hard to find. At this point, they've all been decommissioned from the school district, typically. Or they have super high mileage, or they have build outs that I would just take out. So finding one of these that was in decent enough condition for me to want to buy was almost impossible. And then it was like the stars aligned. The Element sold right when this popped up, and this just happened to have low enough miles for me to pay attention. And then my buddy Mike was able to go. So it's like the stars kind of aligned, and I ended up back with this bus. And I honestly, truly believe that the universe brought me back here and to this bus specifically. So that's how we got here. That's why I got a bus. Now, I do want to briefly talk about quickly that anybody who's been following my channel with the property stuff and the demolitions, I don't want to talk about it in this video, but the engineer has been here, and I'm going to do an update on the next video that comes out is going to be a property update. So make sure to watch that. Okay. And that'll go into all that and where things are at with that. And it'll also make more sense on why I wanted to have a project again. So that's why I bought a bus. That's how I bought a bus. Just wanted to make a quick video to talk about that real quick. And I hope you guys are as excited as I am. Let me know in the comment section below. Are you guys stoked that I bought another bus or not? Right? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video talking about the property. And yeah, let me know what you think. Was it a good move getting the bus or not? Let me know in the comments below. We're here now though. So anyways, thanks for watching. I'm excited to build this thing out with you guys. And I hope you are too. So I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks for hanging out. Hit the thumbs up, commento. This is Isaac. Bye.